What's going on, everybody? It's Halfway Nuts. In my last video, I managed to acquire this cool looking starship right here. This is an Ecliptic Stiletto that I found just sitting at a ship landing site. So I ambushed the landing site and stormed the cockpit and took over the ship, and now it is mine. So in this video, we're going to take this thing, tear it apart, and customize it. Coming up next. Right then, here we are in the builder over at New Atlantis, and we have the Ecliptic Stiletto right here. Just a couple things before we get started. Do remember to look at the stats at the bottom and watch them evolve as we build this thing. And the reason we're starting this off in New Atlantis is because we're going to switch out a couple of parts that are not available over at the Taiyo Astroneering showroom in Neon, which is where we're going to finish the build. And so we're going to switch out a couple parts right now, so that way we don't have to come back here later. It is worth noting, just for the sake of full disclosure, my stats are currently, I am at level 42, and my piloting and starship design are both at rank 3, which only grants me access to A and B class parts. I don't tend to prefer a Bethesda character build that's maxed out, that has maxed out stats, and so I generally will not max out my stats, and this is one of them. So you're probably not going to see me anytime soon using C-class parts, but I don't tend to build ships that are big enough to need C-class parts either way. Alright, let's get this thing started. So I think the first thing we're going to do is delete the fuel tanks that are on either side of the entrance bay, because for some reason the Ecliptic Stiletto has just wildly OP grav drive fuel quantity. It's kind of crazy how far this thing can go if you're like skip jumping. So we're going to actually reduce the fuel capacity by deleting one of these habs right here. We're going to move the grav drive rearward, and then we are going to take and use this fuel tank right here. We're going to put this right here in the front. That way if I slam into something nose first, it'll explode like a Ford Pinto. That was a joke, you know, haha, funny joke. Anyway, so now we are going to take a couple of cargo pods. I think 245 plus 245, 160. So it'll end up having about 700 cargo capacity by the time we're done, which is not a lot, but it's definitely more than the Frontier, which only has about 400 to 500 depending on your stats. I do have some I think I have one or two ranks in not piloting, which is the one payloads. I have a couple, one or two skill points in payloads, and then some other things that might affect the stats at the bottom, but for the most part they're going to be what they are at the beginning, and they're going to be the final stats at the end, and so you'll be able to see the how the ship has improved exactly. And then I think we're almost done here. Oh, the gun. I am going to do lasers, cannons, and missiles by the time the ship is done, and Taiyo doesn't have the right guns. So I think I'm going to do this one. That's a slight upgrade over the one we had. And then over here, let's see, what do I want for the weapons over here? You know what, let's just use one of these for the laser. I've been using these a lot on my ships lately, and they work pretty good. They're pretty good for taking out enemy starships. And let's see, for the missiles, let's go ahead and use this one. Okay, very nice. What are the need more? I need to reduce the amount of weapons I have. I need to assign my weapons. I need a B class reactor. Okay then. Let's get rid of these. Then I need to go to a B class reactor. which I was going to do anyway, but may as well do it now. I don't think we need 28 points for the reactor, plus it's crazy expensive. We're not trying to blow out the budget too much on this. There we go. There's a B-class reactor. Now, we just need to assign our weapons. We'll improve the mobility later. Oh, one more thing I need to do. I need to go into structural. I need to add... Where'd they go? These right here, the Nova Galactic thruster arrays, because we are going to take this 1x1 and make the ship longer and turn it into a 2x2, or a 2x1, excuse me. And so one of them is going to have weapons on it, and the other is just going to be an open snap point, which I don't like on my ships, and so we got to put something there. And you can only get these at a Nova Galactic star builder or starship builder. So I think we got to go to weapons. So the normal, whoops, the default assignment for weapons, for those who don't know, is lasers, whoops, lasers, cannons, missiles. So if you want the controls to be the same as the Frontier, that's the order you need to put them in: lasers, cannons, missiles. Okay, I think we've done all we really need to do over here. Let's head over to Taiyo Astroneering, the Taiyo showroom on Neon, which I have not yet discovered in this playthrough, so we'll be seeing it for the first time. And let's finish this build up, shall we? And here we are, Taiyo Astroneering in the Ryujin building. This place is actually kind of cool looking, not gonna lie. Alright, let's head on over here.
Taiyo always seemed more style than substance, but clearly it appeals to some.
Can't believe it. Finally. I've been dreaming of this.
Just enjoy the moment. You've made the best decision of your life.
So I can take it for a spin now?
It'll be at the spaceport before you get there, fully topped up with helium-3, so yay!
She's kind of hot, if I'm being honest.
No ships
Might have to
better
shop
than the
over here
settled
more often.
systems. People spend their whole lives dreaming of flying a sleek, sexy spaceship. And I get to make that happen. Taiyo brings out the very best in people.
Oh boy. What makes Taiyo so special?
Space should be more than just getting from place to place. It should be full of color, excitement, and full of features you never even knew you needed. Taiyo ships are like traveling in living art.
Well, if you're gonna sell a car, this is definitely the way to do it. You must be the salesperson.
Yes, that's me. Are you ready to make your dreams come true?
How did Taiyo Astroneering get started?
The founders of Taiyo were visionaries that looked at the star yards around and saw a tremendous opportunity. Neon has a life, a beat of its own, and that excitement, that life, was missing. So they worked on making ships that really sung, had a joy to them, something special. Now Taiyo is the jewel of Neon.
Uh-huh. I'd like to view and modify my ship, if you could, please.
Absolutely.
And here we are then. That was interesting. Okay, so what we're gonna do is... How do we want to build this? What is this thing? So, when I was shopping around in the ships they have for sale on the Taiyo showroom, there was a ship called the Narwhal. And it was just this behemoth of a flying gunship with turrets and a huge cargo capacity and a really robust hull that would be practically impossible to penetrate unless you were really being stupid. I don't know that we need to go that far, but I think we're going to do something of kind of an assault ship. So like if you're going to land on a planet and you're expecting there to be trouble, or if you're going to do some low-key pirating, this is definitely going to be the ship you'd want to go for. I think what we're going to do is this ship can actually be slightly longer before it reaches the maximum length if we make it much longer than what I'm gonna make, it won't fit on certain landing sites because it's so long. But we're gonna make it about 1 hab length longer so that we can actually put 2 full-length 2x1s end to end. So we need to move everything back for a minute, get everything out of the way. There we go. Gonna get rid of that. And that is a control station. I think I'll leave that so that way you have I think 4 crew stations. Yeah, 4 crew stations for this. And then an additional 2. So you could have every single member of Constellation on the ship on your crew, plus a couple extra. So I think with there being 3 2x1s, that's plenty of an excuse to have a lot of crew. So the next hab we want is going to be the all-in-one. Now, you really need to be careful where you place all-in-one habs because they are automatically arranged based on where you put them in relation to portholes and entrances and ladders and things like that. So if you put these in the wrong place, you could find yourself in a situation where you don't have as many beds as you otherwise would. Instead of having 4 beds, you only have 1 or 2. If you put it in the wrong place, you might lose your lavatory, which it's a starship. Why the hell would you not have a lavatory? Anyway, they almost ought to do a 1x1 that's just like a lavatory with like a toilet and a shower, because in certain configurations, the all-in-one won't even have a lavatory, which is just stupid. Anyway, I've been on my soapbox long enough. We need this one right here. We're gonna do an armory in the bottom, because if you're gonna have an assault ship, you need an armory. We're gonna move this stuff back into place. Some shit in the way, so it won't snap properly. There we go. Put that right there where we want it. And this, I think I'm going to put it right here. I'm not sure, because I want the docker to be in the same ladder location as the ladder that goes from the armory up to the all-in-one, so we don't have ladders all over the place. So we might have to come back later and rearrange it, but I think it goes right there. Make sure that's snapping in the right place. Then put the engines back. Okay, so we need to add more landing gear. Now that we got that all situated the way we want it, let's just go from front to back. So we're gonna get rid of the cockpit and go to one that's a little better. You can only go up to here with these cockpits. If you go to like this one further and then the ones further down, you can't place them here because they have to be sitting on top of a hab, because they are cockpits that are accessible via ladder versus these ones which are accessible via a door, if that makes any sense. Ship has unattached modules. Where? Is it the cockpit? Did I do it to myself again? Let me see here. Where are my unattached modules at? Oh, it's right here. The reactor is not situated correctly. There we go. Still have unattached modules? Oh, duh. My stupid ass. I need to do a all-in-one that has attachment points. That was dumb. Okay, top B. All-in-one top B. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. Okay. So let's put the cockpit on here that I want. Now, as you go up in cockpits, you're just going to add more cargo capacity, which adds a lot of mass to the ship without gaining a lot of cargo capacity. So unless you're going to do like really insanely powerful engines, you're not really gaining much. But I'm going to put some pretty gnarly engines on here, so I think we're going to be fine. Alrighty then, we need more gear. Wrong one. There we go. Now these need to be moved back. Alright, what I think I'm gonna do is go to structural and put a weapon attachment on here. So that way we can double up on the lasers and the cannons. Which it just occurred to me I'm gonna have to go back to New Atlantis and add those in anyway. So whatever, I'll go back in and add them off camera. But yeah, if you're gonna do this build, you need to make sure you add 2 lasers and cannons from New Atlantis. Alright, I think we're almost done. We just need a better shield and better engines. So for the shield, I think I'm still gonna do a top shield. Let's just do this one right here. There are other ones that have slightly better health, but this will be fine. Now for the engines. Let's see. I want to go with those. Let's try it. Oh boy, not enough power. So I have a couple different options. I can either reduce the cargo capacity, or I'm going to have to add more engines. I suppose I could keep it the way it is, but I want more mobility than that. The 73 is not great. Let's see how these look. Yeah, that's still only 72. Alright, so I put the DT60s back on. That's the most powerful version of this engine that I've unlocked so far. I wonder if it'll raise the mobility if we put just a regular cockpit on there. Yeah, not by much. So I think we're just going to have to be content with 73 mobility, which, let's be fair, is not great. But if you're going for like a fighter type starship that's got a lot of mobility, you're generally not going to have much cargo capacity anyway. So I think what we're building here is a more well-rounded starship that that can do a lot. It can carry you and your crew and your weapons and your cargo, and it's got good defense, great defense actually. It's just going to have to suffer a little bit on the mobility. But at least we're still nominal. We're not getting yellow indicator lights in the pre-flight check for, you know, having low power. So it's not like we have to deal with that. Okay, I'm going to take this back over to New Atlantis, where we will add the other 2 guns, and then we're going to paint this thing. Now, I think I kind of really enjoyed the paint job on the Narwhal. That's the starship I was talking about earlier. And so I did go ahead and buy that ship, and I reverse engineered the colors so you don't have to. And so we're going to color this thing the exact same way as we did the Narwhal. Well, it's going to be the same color as the Narwhal starship. So let's go over to New Atlantis and put the remaining weapons on, and then we're going to paint this thing. Okay then, here we are back at New Atlantis, and I am going to just copy these weapons and attach them right here. Come on. There we go. And so when you're firing on either side, you're going to get 2 shots of each weapon. So this is a pretty heavily armed ship, so it's going to have to make up for the fact that the mobility is kind of crap, but you can still get by, especially if you got a couple of ranks in piloting, because that's going to make you more able to control the ship and do, you know, sharp turns and maneuvers and things like that. Anyway, okay, now it's time to add some color to this thing. Okay, we're going to select the entire ship, and let's start with the hue. Let's see here. Yeah, the hue, and for color 1, that's going to be 41 clicks from the right. And so we're going to take this thing and push it all the way over to the right, and then we're going to move to the left 41 clicks. And here we are, 41 clicks from the right. Next thing is the saturation, which is 26 clicks from the right. Pretty sure, yeah. Right 26. Okay, now we got to move it 26 clicks to the left. And there we are. So the brightness is left 25. And there we are, 25 clicks from the left. And the color 2 is going to be almost the same, except instead of a right 41 for the hue, it's going to be right 42, and then the brightness is going to be left 26, which is interesting. That might just be oversight, like when they were designing this color, when they were building the game, they might have just not quite got the colors exactly matched up. So I think I'm actually going to match them, and color 2 will just be exactly what color 1 was. Alright, now colors 1 and 2 are exactly the same. So the third color is actually kind of a gray color, where the hue is right 41, the saturation is left 0, and the brightness is right 18. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for color 3. Alright, color 3 is good to go, and this is kind of what it looks like. I'm going to hit accept real quick, and we'll take a look. Yeah, it's got a nice blue and white sort of pop to it. I suppose I could change up color 2 on a couple of parts just to give it a little bit more white contrast, but I think this actually looks pretty good. I'll take it the way it is. I actually did go ahead and change up the color of the cargo pods just to make them... I put the color 3 for the rest of the ship on the color 2 space for these, and so now it's a little bit almost like a silvery tone, which I think is actually really nice looking. Okay, I think we are pretty much done. The next thing we have to do is go find an enemy and see how this thing does in combat. Actually, I lied. We have to rename this thing because I'm not going to continue to call it Ecliptic Stiletto, because I am not an Ecliptic mercenary, so we are going to rename it... What do we want to call it? You know what? Let's just call it Cobra, in reference to the Shelby Cobra that everybody knows and loves. That's probably sacrilege, considering this thing is not necessarily that fast, nor that agile or nimble, but it's blue, by God, and so was the Shelby Cobra. So that's how I'm going to rationalize it. Okay, now I think we're done. Let's go take this out into space and get in some trouble. Alright, I think there's a Crimson Fleet C-class ship around here somewhere. Over here. Whoa.
Try and run.
Oh, crap. I'm on very hard difficulty, so these guys just came out of nowhere. Let's see if we can take care of them. Oh, the thrusters.
Drive as a jump drive is chugging.
Oh, whoa, shit. Well, bye-bye. Alright, that's not funny. And now I'm gonna kick your ass into your face.
Okay, so they took down our grab drive.
Not so tough now, are you? Oh, mobility is crap.
Whoa, big hit.
Oh, motherfucker. Alright, let's try dropping this down to just hard mode. Because otherwise, we're going to need better guns. There they are.
What have we here?
Low, good. Direct hit to the ram engines are down.
The hell? Oh, my dumbass. It's because I didn't even have my shield at 100%.
We don't take prisoners.
Okay. Now I'm coming after you.
We took out our grab drive. Oh, that just took out their shields. Target's grab drive is offline.
Come on.
Nice work. We just lost.
Turns
the
out
jump
you probably
drive.
want to have your shield powered up all the way, and I still fucking died. Motherfuckers. Alright, now I'm going to back it off down to just hard mode, and I'm going to power up my shields completely, and put the rest of it into lasers. How about that? See if I stand a chance against them now.
Fire everything you got!
Oh, it's the mobility that's killing me because I can't swing around on them fast enough.
Nice. They just lost their grab drive. Grab drive is entirely offline. Jump drive is chugging. And it's down. We lost it. Bam! Their shields are gone.
And I'm all out of ammo. I gotta wait for my ammo to replenish.
I hope they didn't need that grab drive.
Well then, suffice
Grab
it to
drive
say...
is fully repaired. What a relief.
Suffice it to say that if you're going to be fighting with this thing on very hard mode, you're going to need some more weapons. Let's just put it that way. Okay, well, let's just fly this thing around and talk about the mobility. So, this thing handles kind of the same way that the Starlifter 2 does, which was the last Starship build we did. And you're basically driving a bus. It's, the mobility is not swell because of the cargo capacity. Cargo will kill your mobility. So I think if you really want something that's going to be good at, like, dogfights in space, you're definitely going to need to get rid of some cargo, add some more engines, definitely add some more weapons. I find it hard to believe, like, I have the Frontier outfitted with a lot better weapons than it used to, but it still has less weapons than this, and I do just fine. And I think it's the mobility that saves me. So, because my Frontier ship is heavily upgraded versus what it is vanilla. So, alright, well, let's land this thing and take a look at the interior, shall we? So, when you enter the ship, it dumps you into the armory facing this way. And let's just take a look around, shall we? So we have this kind of open area with a jump seat. And I do have a bunch of static clutter hanging around. I didn't put any of this here. It just spawns in the ship normally. And then here we have the armory. I find it weird that the beds are locked up, but the guns are not. That's kind of funny. Let's try to put a weapon in here. And there you go. It's going to show up right there. Now let's try... Let's put a pistol in here. And there you go. So yeah, this armory hab is kind of cool. You can put your weapons here. I think even in some of them there's a place to put like your space suit. I don't think this one has one. Let's see what's in here real quick. No, not in this one. I know some of them you can actually... No. No, this one just does weapons. Some of them, depending on the manufacturer, will have a place to put like your spacesuit and your helmet too. Okay, let's go up this way. Oh, this hab is actually glitched out. I forgot about that. So if you put the armory hab directly underneath the all-in-one, will actually have this weird bug where I can jump up and down and I won't go down into the armory for some reason, but if I get on my ladder, I think it still works.
How are you?
I'm
Good
not
luck out there.
I'm not talking to you. Get out of here. Now I'm stuck. Yeah, Bethesda hasn't worked all the bugs out of this yet. Let's try it now.
Handling this whole captain thing really well, you know.
Yeah, so if you get on the ladder, you can go down there. But then for some reason, it does this really weird thing where there's that black cover there. So you might consider putting something else there if it's really immersion breaking for you. But let's just start back here. And we got, you know, some clutter that kind of makes the place look more lived in. We got a couple of bunk beds. We have the lavatory and a jump seat. Kitchen table with a stove and a sink.
What's on your mind?
Not talking to you, that's what's on my mind. And a couch. And some more clutter, some beer bottles. A desk. And then here is the crew controls. The control station. Nice wide open space. And then we enter into the cockpit. I've always liked one of the things that's cool about Taiyo ships. Let's go outside and I'll show you. Take a look at this from a distance for a second. One of the things I've always liked about Taiyo starships is they're one of the few manufacturers where you really can make a starship that looks like it had some thought put into it. Because so many starships look like spaceship Legos where there's just panel gaps that don't line up and mismatched parts that don't look like they go well together, and it's just like some of these starships wouldn't survive 5 seconds in a wind tunnel, but yet they can go into space. It's just kind of... It doesn't look very good. It's kind of immersion breaking when you have a starship that just looks like it's been cobbled together with parts that don't play well with each other, aesthetically speaking. I don't think Taiyo has this problem. Because the ship is actually bigger than it looks, because it can hide habs in the landing gear, and you can go underneath and you can put your grav drive and your fuel under there so it doesn't have to be visible, and it's just a really clever use of parts. And I think the ship looks really good inside and out. It's really kind of cool looking, I think. Well, that's it. That's the starship build for today. This is the Cobra by Taiyo. And needless to say, if I'm going to keep this in my inventory, we're going to have to add engines and weapons, and it needs some improvements. But this will definitely give you a baseline for something. If you're lacking in creativity, this will definitely give you something to work on. Questions, comments, put them in the comment section of the video. Otherwise, until next time, this is Halfway Nuts telling you, don't go nuts. That's my job. I'll catch you later.